YouTube, no introduction. This is a repeat. We've adjusted the list. We're going to be playing KarnzaThragFire here in Modern. Now, what do we have in front of us? It is the Panza version, a Karnza version. However, we've tweaked it for attacking a little bit of the meta with some of the life gain that we want to have, but also doing something kind of crazy and out there for your entertainment. What is it that we're doing that is crazy? Well, we're playing Worldfire. Now, Worldfire has, whenever this is played, exile basically everything, and everyone starts with 1 life total. You're basically resetting the game. Now, you could do this off of, say, a Rift Bolt and kill them, but typically we've done it with a Thragtusk, and when this leaves the battlefield, you get a green beast. But also, we've been noted that Chandra Awakened Inferno with her emblem would do this because Worldfire does not interact with emblems. The shell itself, though, is Chandra Torch of Defiance, Karns, Acid Mosses, Blood Moons, Pillages, Seasoned Pyromances, Coithus, Utopia. You get the idea. It is a Karnza variation. I've adjusted this a little bit to be 4 Acid Moss and 3 Karn. I don't like that, so we'll move one of these out. Do this. Go ahead and take this out. There you go. Sideboard has a lot of things that interact with just the Karn plan. We're going to Pillage, we're going to Acid Moss, we're going to Blood Moon. Hopefully we're going to Thragtusk into a Worldfire. This is KarnzaThragFire here in Modern. Let's get to the matches. Here we are, KarnzaThragFire match 1, playing the red, the green, the Destruction of Land deck with a twist. Here we go, match 1. Let's begin. Gonna blow up some lands. People are not gonna be happy. Let's play first, always good. I like this. This is a turn 2 Karn or turn 2 Acid Moss. Lead with Arbor Elf and plan to do Utopia Sprawl, Forest, make 4, and go from there. Botanical Sanctum for our opponent. Aether Vial. This game's almost done. We've just gotten started. Utopia Sprawl here. We'll make more green. We'll do this. Karn, down tick. Go get Liquid Metal Coating. Boom. We get to play Liquid Metal Coating and Acid Moss. This game is done. Botanical Sanctum does look like it would be Spirits. Just as an FYI. Spirit is named off Cavern of Souls. I hope my opponent does something here. Supreme Phantom. That may be the last thing they play. And a Blood Moon. And a Blood Moon. 1, 2. Liquid Metal Coating. Get rid of the Cavern of Souls. 1, 2, 3. Let's do it this way. Make all the green. We're not even going to kill the last land here. We're looking pretty good. Could have had him on no lands, but Blood Moon should do just fine here. I don't see Spirits coming back from this. Game 1, done. Now, clearly we did not Thragfire here, but we just played Panza. Karnza specifically. Sideboard. Lightning Bolts are probably okay to bring in here. I could see a Spyglass and a Pithy Needle. These are to name Aether Vial in case I don't find Karn. Bridge, we're going to just have to grab from the sideboard. That's probably the better location to grab that from. So Lightning Bolt, Spyglass, Pithy Needle. In order to win the game, we're probably going to have to drop the Worldfires here. I don't mind the Chandra Awakened Inferno as a way to stop our opponent. Let's see here. We need 2 more cuts. It's probably just like a one Coithus, maybe even a second Coithus. I think I'm going to get rid of an Acid Moss. So we have the Pillage, Aether Vial, Spyglass, Pithy Needle, Aether Vial, Karn, Aether Vial, Blood Moons, and then Pillages and Acid Mosses. We have Chandra. We don't really have board wipes in this list. We just have kind of spot removal. We're going to keep this opening hand here. We have a little bit of removal and some Utopia Sprawls to help us out. We'll see what the opening hand includes. Includes a Noble. Let's go ahead and get rid of that Noble. Get rid of the Noble here. I like that I have the Forest that I can put a Utopia Sprawl on. Seems pretty good. Following Noble Hierarch here. It's pretty good for them. We'll go ahead and make probably just red at this point. We already have some of the green, and I can add a little more green with this Utopia Sprawl. So we're in a pretty good spot here to just do the Thragtusk things. Maybe I should have kept the Worldfire in at this point. We're not necessarily ahead of my opponent, but we could be very soon. Let's attempt a Utopia Sprawl on the Forest. I don't see this getting countered. We can make a little more green here. Let's go ahead and attempt to pillage a land here. We do float 1 mana here, but I don't think the floating's going to matter. They're going to fetch. They have to go get, well, they don't have to get anything because of the Noble Hierarch. They can get whatever they want. Temple Garden. And this is a Spell Queller. Spell Queller stops the pillage. This is okay for me. I have a Thragtusk to follow this up, and then if I top deck a Blood Moon, it gets rid of the Spell Queller. Could be Collected Company mana here now. Attacks for 3, Exalted trigger. There we go. Seasoned Pyromancers. Let's just play a Thragtusk, put a Stomping Ground into play sideways, and pass the turn. Thragtusk gains us some life. It's not easily countered by our Spirit's Friend. Flooded Strand cracking here. This does feel like Collected Company a little bit. I don't think I have Grafdigger's Cage in this version. Just Trinisphere. Coco. Drogskull, so I can't kill anything anymore. I could take a Chandra Awakened Inferno off the top if my opponent doesn't ramp these up to anything higher than a 3/3. Tax for 10. This is half my life total. We hit smaller Chandra. Let's go ahead and play Seasoned Pyromancer. If they go to counter this, we're done. Some Blood Moons. I'm going to play a Blood Moon here to see what they want to do. It is 10 in the air. They should see this, and this game's going to be done, and we're going to be going to game 3. I'm trying to bait one more card out here just to see. Rattle Chain's pretty typical. We can go ahead and concede. They just attack with everything in the air. All right. Game 1, quick. Game 2, quick. Game 3, let's find out. Do we want to change anything? I don't have any Torp Orbs. I think God of Destiny is too slow. Let's bring an Acid Moss back in, and let's bring a Worldfire back in. I'm still going to rely on being able to play Karn to get my bridge. Let's do it. Let's do it. So not many changes here. Let's play first. I'm going to keep this because the Utopia Sprawl and the Pillage or Seasoned Pyromancer is pretty nice. And Chandra Awakened Inferno is actually a pretty nice Wrath effect. It's strange to keep a 6-drop, but with this list it is possible to keep those. Not to mention that I'm not far away from a Karn if I want to go that route. We're going to make Utopia Sprawl with red. This way I have the red here, and green here. Misty Rainforest as the opener. If they play an Aether Vial, I may just pillage the Aether Vial away. We could also look for another land. Wanderer here. Okay. Wander is interesting because Wander kind of stops us a little bit. Could play an Arbor Elf here and just pass the turn. Gives me a lot of mana next turn. Let's just do that. A lot of mana. My opponents decided to avoid Blood Moon by playing a basic island. This gives me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then maybe a 6th, and I could play Chandra and blow the world up. Supreme Phantom here. 3/3 attacks for 3. This will be a 2/2 for future pillages. We hit Spyglass. This turn I could play Spyglass, naming Wander, and then I could pillage or Season Pyromancer depending on what I see. I kind of like naming Wander here so that I could just pillage away probably the Horizon Canopy. But we'll see what colors they have in their hand. I might be just taking them off of this island here. We have a Force of Negation, Supreme Phantom Spell Queller, and a Skyclave here. Okay. We'll say okay to this. I'm going to name the Mausoleum Wanderer. Oops. How do you spell this? M-A-U-S. No, O. S-O-L. Wander. There we go. Mausoleum Wanderer. Clever. And then 1, 2, 3 here. And I'm going to just try to pillage. I see this other Supreme Phantom here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually attempt to pillage the island. I don't want them to boost these, especially since I have a potential Chandra Awakened Inferno. This pillage is probably going to be met with this Force. Force pitches a Spell Queller. Cool. So we've gotten the Force out. I know the 2 cards here. It may just be a Phantom, which could just result in me just doing Karn, down tick, and go get something. So we find a land here. They decide Phantom is the better card. Probably a good idea. Grows Wander up to a 4/4. Starting to think I'm going to need a Karn, but we also have the Skyclave that we have to worry about. Down to 11. One, two, three, four, and then 1, 2. Two, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 if they hit another Lord effect here. We can play this and kill a Supreme Phantom. 1, 2, 3, 4. And if they leave the Chandra alone, we can kind of get a lot of value out of her. So just 4 damage. I have a feeling they're going to send things at Chandra this coming turn. That gains me a little bit of life. We'll see if they want to do anything with the Skyclave. It is their only card currently in hand. Finds another basic. To me, I assume this would be played, but I don't know what they would take here. Maybe the Utopia Sprawl. Now seeing Skyclave in here, they take the Spyglass, which is nice. So if I top deck a land, I can Karn and get Bridge, which is a good line here. 3 in, 1 at face here. We have 6, 7. We do hit our land drop. It's really good for us. 1, 2, 3, 4. Karn. Down tick. We'll go get we can go get our spyglass if we wanted to. Gonna go get a bridge. 1, 2, 3, bridge. Pass turn. Now I'm not too worried about playing Seasoned Pyromancer here. If I hit double land, it's a little rough. But from where we're at right now, I think I'll be able to cast just about anything behind the Seasoned Pyromancer. Opponent attacks 1 at Karn here. We're glad Skyclave's out of the way. Hoping there's not another one. Wouldn't mind a Blood Moon. Selfless Spirit's a good card here. Protects all of what they've got going on. Land drop. I think I don't play the land drop in case I find a new land here. So let's start with Seasoned Pyromancer. I want to be able to play the land drop and then play whatever's after it. Alright, no land drop, but I can shut them off mana. So let's go ahead and do that. We can do Acid Moss next turn. Up we go with Karn. And now we're trying to play the whole lock game. Supreme Phantom could attack here. They don't have green. I'd really like to probably shut them off of blue. Attacks at Karn again. No surprises there. Top of the library is a Thragtusk. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go ahead and Acid Moss while we have the chance. Still want to take them off of blue, I believe. This is going to be a Spell Queller. We'll go up again and pass the turn. Playing a little bit of a dance here. Due to the Supreme Phantom, my opponent can't really attack with more things. So that's kind of a positive. They play another land here. They don't have green. We still have this blue and white stuff going on here. If I can get low enough that they can't attack me, I can go get Liquid Metal Coating and close the game out. Attacks Karn again. We get a land here. We get to go up. So this turn is very critical for our opponent. We get to play Thragtusk. I gain some life here. And now we are empty-handed. We pass back to them. They do find green, so they do now have Collected Company as an option. We have a lot of mana here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm almost able to do World Fire. World Fire would get countered, though. Main board's Collected Company here, floating 1 white by accident. They're trying to hit a Skyclave here to get the bridge right now. And they do hit the Skyclave. And they hit the Drogskull Captain too to grow everything. This might be we might die here. 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, that's lethal. That is lethal. We couldn't keep Karn high enough to do the down tick for the Liquid Metal Coating. Sideboard-wise, I don't have a Torp Orb, otherwise I would have gotten that. If I had the Torp Orb, it would be an easy down tick, and then you just go get a Torp Orb to protect your bridge. My opponent's doing some math here, which is smart of them. But it looks like they take us down here. This is 15 damage. And Spirits takes us with the Skyclave. I've been talking about the Skyclave for quite some time now, and Skyclave is definitely doing a lot of work here. Definitely doing a lot of work. Our top deck wouldn't have mattered. We would have finally been able to downtick. We would have been able to get our Liquid Metal Coating and been able to shut off the snow-covered plains so they don't get a second one for Skyclave. But there you have it. Although we had a quick game 1, game 2, and this one was relatively quick, our opponent finds the Skyclave off the Collected Company and takes it down. We'll see you in the next match. Match 2. Playing the KarnzaThragFire. We do not have a Torp Orb in the sideboard, and it punishes us immediately. Don't leave home without the little orb. Match 2. Let's see if we can get a win under our belts. Let's play some Magic. Alright, we do not get the play. Alright, we get to play some magic here. God of Destiny, Seasoned Pyromancer. A couple 4-drops. This doesn't feel like a very good starting hand. Let's go ahead and mulligan. Our opponent mulliganed as well. Is this any better? Instant speed removal here, followed by Karn. Alright. Let's mulligan once more. Alright, here we go. We're going to get rid of probably Acid Moss and a land here. At least I have a turn 2, and that's what I need. I need to be able to turn 2 something. Windswept Heath for our opponent. Gonna lead with an Arbor Elf here. Nice top deck. Get to Pillage, get to Seasoned Pyromancer. Depends on what my opponent's playing. Temple Garden for them. Horizon Canopy. We're not Boggles, are we? Arbor Elf. Okay. Let's go ahead and make some red mana here. I think I'm going to go ahead and take out one of their lands. I don't particularly want them to continue ramping. I am the ramp deck. Go ahead. We take out the Temple Garden because the Arbor Elf has to untap a forest. And so this is kind of cute because Arbor Elf doesn't ramp them now. It only ramps us. Alright, let's go ahead and shock in here. We'll do 3 mana. Get the Seasoned Pyromancer. Get rid of the Windswept Heath. Load up. And attack for 1. Didn't really run into anything with our Seasoned Pyromancer there. If they were to path the Arbor Elf, it's really not going to do a whole lot. We can play everything in our list. Opponent finds another Horizon Canopy. 2 white makes an Auriok champion. Protection from red and black. A little bit of a problem for us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think I'll wait to see if I can draw Thragtusk. However, we have Worldfire. Step 1. They'll never see it coming. Plays a new Arbor Elf. Gains life. Psh. Show me Thragtusk. That'll work. That'll slow them down quite a bit. That'll slow them down a little bit here. We'll go ahead and pass the turn. Go ahead and play a Chandra here. I am going to go ahead and untap just in case we find that Thragtusk. Up we go. Alright, good. They concede. They don't need to see the Worldfire. They generally know what we're doing, but they don't need to see that little piece of knowledge. Oh my gosh, we were so close too. Our opponent also said hello. It's respectful to respond with hello. Alright, Lightning Bolts, perhaps a Wormcoil main wouldn't be a bad idea here. So we'll bring those in. Definitely want to gain some life against my opponent. What do we take out here? Maybe 2 God of Destinies. And I think I want to stay in the World Forest Chandra plan. Let's take 1 Pillage out as well. I think Blood Moon's going to be more important, as is the Lightning Bolt. Much more than some of the other things we could be doing with, say, God of Destiny. Alright. No angers, though. We'll give this a shot. Let's play second. We have a turn 2 Blood Moon. I will go ahead and give it a shot, and we will keep Windswept Heath. I presume this will find basics at this point. Basic Forest. Arbor Elf of their own. We will do the same. It's like it's the mirror. Our own Arbor Elf, pass the turn. Windswept Heath, they can go get their basic planes now as well, and they do so. No real surprises thus far. Walking Ballista can shoot our Arbor Elf, and does so. Attacks for 1. gonna go fetch shock here. Gonna go ahead and play Utopia Sprawl down. We'll name red here because of what our hand contains. And we'll pass the turn. Okay. What else do you have? 3 mana. Heliod Sun Crowned. We're a little ways away from a World Fire here. Let's do 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to play Chandra. We're going to shoot the Arbor Elf here and pass the turn. This way my opponent can't do any crazy ramping here. We're going to try to get Karn down, maybe even go get like a Pithing Needle. There's a Spike Feeder. All cute and everything, but we actually have a way to beat infinite life. So, we're going to just wait here briefly. We'll see how much they want to go here. And I'll let them know. I'm just saying I can beat infinite life. I can. I can. Now we just have to find Thragtusk. Just gotta find Thragtusk. So you can almost guarantee I'm thinking about Season Pyromancer, but realistically I probably need to do something where I use Karn here to hide behind a bridge and go from there. So they gain some life here. That's good for them. Let's go ahead and Utopia Sprawl here. We'll get a little more, probably green at this point, in case I find the Acid Moss. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do a Karn here. Oops. You know what? I can make more red with the Chandra. Karn down tick. Tempted to go get a Spyglass here. Just to stop some other things. I could get a bridge though. I could also just get a liquid metal coating. I have 4 mana available to me. You know what? With 4 mana, I think Walking Ballista might not be a bad idea here. Go up for some mana here, play Walking Ballista. And be able to kill the Spike Feeder here. We can always get this Walking Ballista later. This combination here with the Heliod, I don't want that to go too crazy here. So they gain life, we get rid of that. I think we're okay here. Probably looking at Season Pyromancer next. Definitely want a Thragtusk. We Skyclave. Alright, Skyclave's pretty good. It's not going to beat me though. Not going to beat me. There's a Pillage. So 1, 2, 3. Let's do Blood Moon here. And then I'll take them off of probably white. Let's go ahead and untap. Let's go up for damage here. Oh. I can't beat it still. No casting that. Oh, I can't pillage here. Alright, they get white mana for a turn here. Hopefully they don't ruin me. Ah, the white mana. We need to use a little Blood Moon, use a little green there. Okay. Attack Chandra here. plays a Conclave Mentor. 1, 2, 3. We can play Seasoned Pyromancer. I have the Pillage. I want to be using this to kill this. I want the Seasoned Pyromancer, but now I have the Worldfire in hand. Let's go up first. Let's see what else we hit. I hit a Forest. Okay. I'm gonna lose Chandra here. Let's go ahead and pillage away the white, though. I'm gonna hold Stomping Ground. I'm probably not going to block. I need a second card so I don't lose my other Worldfire. It's a Walking Ballista. It's starting to look really bad, really sketchy, really fast. Walking Ballista with this. They can't activate this, so we have a little bit of time. Okay, goes after Chandra. We have a lot less mana now, by the way. There's one Seasoned Pyromancer. Again, we have to do it this way because I don't want to lose my other Worldfire here. Alright, Acid Moss and Utopia Sprawl probably puts them on the back foot enough. Scavenging Ooze. So we have a 2/2 Ooze here. A Bolt. Let's do a little ramping here. Acid Moss to get rid of the Forest. We got some good chump blockers. Gonna go get another Forest here. Okay, we're looking for Thragtusk. This is what we do. This is how we do it. Gonna want to get rid of that Walking Ballista next, just in case they find a white source. I could also get rid of the Skyclave here. Not what I want to be doing, though. Alright, a little more Utopia Sprawl in here. We'll make a little more green now that we have plenty of red. I can probably pass here. Probably save for a turn. Maybe see if they want to attack me at all. Seasoned Pyromancer out of the yard. Okay. Acid Moss. We have plenty of mana now. I'm not sure I want to Acid Moss something. But Acid Moss does help us, I guess, in the future. Let's go ahead and Acid Moss. Just thin the list out a little bit here. I'm going to go get another Stomping Ground, and we'll just pass the turn here. Actually, we'll just attack with Seasoned Pyromancer. Get in there, Seasoned Pyromancer. They do hit a land, but it's not scary yet. No attacks. Gonna leave our bolt up. We have a second bolt now. I really want to win with the combo because I know they could be at infinite life here. So we're gonna just hang tight with our opponent and see if we can do the Thragtusk things. I don't want to be like attacking them and so on and so forth. I want to win appropriately. My opponents claim they have infinite life here. And we'll just reset everyone's life total to 1. That is our goal. Holding 2 lightning bolts here should be enough to get rid of the Walking Ballista in the event that something with Scavenging Ooze happens here. Green mana. Probably about time to go ahead and hit the Walking Ballista here. You know what? Let's shoot this. I should have shot the Scavenging Ooze. Shoots Harbor Elf. Alright, we'll deal with Scavenging Ooze being a thing. It's a thing right now. Another forest here. My opponent can now eat lots of things with Scavenging Ooze. Puts a Utopia Sprawl on the other forest. Gets white here. The white kind of messes me up now because things are whenever a target creature gains lifelink until end of turn. Conclave sets up Heliod. Block. We have the Seasoned Pyromancer that I'll bring back. Come on, Thragtusk, where are you at? I'll even take a Seasoned... Well, I can't take a Seasoned Pyromancer because I have too many lands in play. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There he is! Your move, opponent. They know what's coming. Come on. They have white. They could path Thragtusk. The call. Okay. I don't think they can kill me here. The call gets a Walking Ballista. Walking Ballista can be put on 2. Knight of Autumn. Utopia Sprawl. Okay. Knight of Autumn, unknown card. Chump block. Little chump block. They're tapped out. My opponent's at infinite life for now. Worldfire. Worldfire. Set everyone's life total to 1. I get a token. Wait a minute. I could have done this earlier. Oh my gosh. Skyclave's so good. And now everyone's just like, Fluffy figured it out. I could have done that so much sooner with Skyclave. This is the new tech. Skyclave ruining all our days. This. Just Worldfire people. Worldfire them. Oh my gosh. I've just learned something. My mind is exploding right now. We're going to take a moment. Go play your Worldfires. We'll see you in the next match. Match 3 coming up. We might have almost punted that last one away. We weren't even thinking. We were so narrow-minded and focused on one plan and one plan only. Scary. Scary indeed. But a blast, nonetheless. Let's go. Match 3 against City of Cards here. Playing KarnzaThragFire in Modern. Opponent chooses to play first. Looks like they might be declaring a companion. They do. It's Lyris. Opening hand is very sketchy. Not any red. Arbor Elf against Lyris deck. We're going to go ahead and mulligan this. This hand is sketchy as well. Pretty much the same thing with a reverse land. Mulligan. Alright, we can keep this. Worldfire we don't need anytime soon. Probably Karn is just a touch safer than the Acid Moss. If we get to turn 4, we're probably playing our Karn here. Steam Vents for our opponent. Bobble. Grixis Death Shadow with Lyris. Looks like it. Bobble used. Bobble triggers. Arbor Elf off the top. Alright, we're looking okay here. Could be playing a Blood Moon this next turn. Opponent taps blue mana and then bolts. Bolting away our Arbor Elf. Looks like my opponent has no follow-up here. They don't know I have Blood Moon, but they can suspect it. They kept a 1-lander here? Well, I kept a 2-lander opponent. We're on equal terms here. Would love to be able to get a Blood Moon before they find their land here. They're moving to discard. Come on, land. We do find it. I'm going to go get green here because I can then play Acid Moss. And there you have it. Game 1 done. Very quick. So, what are we going to change up here? Probably just bring a few bolts in. Maybe these kitchen finxes. Could bring defense grids in as well. So we brought 2 lightning bolts and kitchen finxes in. I want the Cloythus here. I like the pillage. I like the Blood Moon. Acid Moss is probably just a little too aggressive here. Honestly, the Chandra is probably a little too aggressive as well. Or sorry, not aggressive. It's not going to be cast. I'm going to take out 1 pillage as well and run this. So we have the lightning bolts to remove some of their creatures. We have Kitchen Finks and Thragtusks to stabilize. Looking to play Karn, maybe a Trinisphere, blow up the lands, get the World Fire, win the game. Easy done, right? Easy as pie. Opponent is deciding whether to start first or second. We'll keep this hand. It's got a lot of what we wanted in it. Got a lot what we want. Got a couple fetch lands here. Got an Arbor Elf, a little removal spell here in case they're Grixis Death Shadow with little tiny prowess creatures. Basic swamp here. Opponent's playing smart. There's Bomat. Bomat's going to get blasted here. Blasted. Not going to even try to play the Arbor Elf first. We want to kill this. Fetch and shock here. Go ahead and just blow this up past turn. Some would say we'll play the Arbor Elf because they can't really kill it. Fatal Push, then a land like this. Being able to use Bomat here with the red mana, that would be just disastrous. We don't want that. This may find a Steam Vents. Steam Vents it is. They do shock in here, and we have a Scourge. And a Bobble. Okay. Bobble trigger here. Find ourselves a Seasoned Pyromancer. We're going to play Arbor Elf past turn. Right now, life totals are at 16. I'd prefer this not to completely wreck me here. Blood Crypt shocks in. Thought seizes me. Here you go. Take that one. Takes a Seasoned Pyromancer because the tokens are going to be annoying for our opponent to deal with. Plays a Seal of Fire. This will remove the Arbor Elf. I can just F6 trying to draw a land. I can go fetch a basic here. Opponent bolts me, makes this a 7/7. 1 turn to go. I need the land. I missed the land. Alright. Quick game 2. Quick game 1. Huh. Seems to be a pattern in this league. Let's go. Match 3. I don't believe I want to change too much here. I think I'm going to bring this Trinisphere in just as a option for me to hit on turn 2. I'm going to take out one. I want to take out 1 World Fire, but I think that's wrong. I'm going to take out a additional pillage here for this Trinisphere. You know what? No. Pillage in. Let's take out 1 Karn. No. Let's take out 1 Chandra. And go. It may seem strange to take out the Chandra, but I like the Thragtusk, Kitchen Finks, and God of Destinies because they're gaining us life. And I think a turn 2 Trinisphere could really mess up my opponent. Let's play first. This is not a hand. 1 landers all around. Mulligan. Okay, we could work with this. Could work with this. We don't have any acceleration, though. Going to a 3-drop here with 2 bolts. You know what? Mulligan again. We can do better. Alright, let's keep this. Karn and Worldfire out. This is very risky, but I like it. I like it. We're going to name red here. The idea is that if I get a land, I can either Blood Moon to lock them out, or we can play Seasoned Pyromancer here. And Seasoned Pyromancer can get me some other cards to do other things in this matchup. Bloodstained Mire, they may also fetch a non-basic because I threw a Utopia Sprawl and a Stomping Ground, which appears what they're doing here. Swift Spear. I'm ready. Land me. Give me the land. No land, but I do get to bolt this. Alright. Go ahead, opponent. Give me the land. Fetch the non-basics. You know you want the non-basics. No! Swamp. Kroxa here. I want to hold on to the Blood Moon. I'm tempted to hold on to the Seasoned Pyromancer here too. Let's not. Let's do Seasoned Pyromancer away here. Need another Utopia Sprawl, so I can name green here with this one. We're in a lot of trouble as soon as I do. As soon as I do Blood Moon. We don't do a lot after that. Bloodstained Mire here. Our one-lander is falling apart. We had to mulligan a few times. They get another swamp here. Plays a Scourge down. Alright, well I get a Kitchen Finks. We'll go ahead and do that, because this actually shrinks the Scourge. And they can't really kill this without losing their Scourge here. They bolt me to keep things aligned here. Makes it a 4-4 still. Having to go after me. It's kind of funny. Fetching. Blood Crypt. Shocks. Now they can Kroxa here. I think I've totally goofed up here by not having the Seasoned Pyromancer in hand now. Few mulligans here, probably going to take us away. We're going to get rid of the Blood Moon at this point in the game. I will be blocking. Blocking to make the Scourge smaller. Get to pillage away a swamp and pass turn. We're going to lose our Thragtusk here. We're still on one land. We're 5 turns in. Watery Grave. Shocks it in. I'm probably blocking. Lose Thragtusk. Jump in front. Bolts away. We take 6 here, go to 12. If I had the Seasoned Pyromancer, we'd be 2 more cards deeper. Would that be any lands, though? We would not have pillaged. Opponent has lethal here. So there is a land. There is a land. What else would we have found? Trinisphere, which wouldn't have done much at that point in the game. Another land. Chandra probably wouldn't have done a whole lot. Yeah. A couple bad mulligans there. Interesting matchup, though. There you have it. Match 3 done. We'll see you in match 4. 1-2 overall. Playing the KarnzaThragFire in Modern. We've got our next match coming up here. We had a little break between our recordings, but we're back. Let's play some Magic. We're fueled, ready, let's win. We gotta get some wins in here. We're on the down slope. Let's play first. Alright, Wooded Foothills. I've got my 6 drop. I've got my 9 drop. We can mulligan this. Sand's not going places. All right. I will... Oh, I hate having these one-landers here. I think we could keep this and get rid of a Thragtusk here and try to go for this. I am on the play. My opponent is deciding whether they want to keep their hand or not. I don't particularly like this because then I'm probably just fully reliant on a Seasoned Pyromancer. I think my mulligan luck has been pretty abysmal lately, though. So we're going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to go get a Stomping Ground here on the off chance that we're going to be able to play a follow-up Pillage here, having double red and guaranteeing that double red instead of getting a basic. Temple of Deceit here, so we have a little bit of time, hoping for that land drop. We missed the land drop, unfortunately, here. Gonna go get a second green now. So we have double green, double red off of this. We can make 3 mana. We can Pillage or Seasoned Pyromancer. If they play a Pentab Prism, I probably Pillage it, or I can Pillage a land. Probably Pillage a land here, unless I get a Karn. Well, I can Pillage about everything. Let's go ahead and Pillage one of their lands here, and if I miss again, I can Pillage again. If I miss again, I Pillage again. Looking to get this Karn to shut off the Pentab Prism here. Sleight of hand for our opponent. We do not want Blood Moon right now. Please no Blood Moon. Another Temple of Deceit here. Scries. Alright, we do hit our land, which is great. Let's go ahead and play a Karn. This shuts off the Pentad Prism very nicely for us. A Pact of Negation. Alright. Pact of Negation stops Karn here. I suppose my next line here will be pillaging the Pentad Prism. My opponent could have... Gonna Spoils the Vault for Angel, probably. They've gotta defend themselves here. And it looks like they might have just taken too much damage. Revealing 28 cards. Angel's Grace. 28th card deep. Too much damage. And my opponent loses game 1. Karn was too much for them. We got there. Okay, so. I don't have a whole lot here. I could bring in probably defense grids, or I can do Trinispheres here. I think I'm going to bring a Trinisphere in case we have a Lotus Bloom. Trinisphere in. Oop, come here. And we'll take a Worldfire out. There's very little chance that I'm even getting close to a Worldfire here. So we'll do that. Submit back. Gonna do the game plan. Blood Moons, Pillages, Acid Mosses, maybe a Trinisphere, maybe a Karn. Alright, opening hand here, we got a Seasoned Pyromancer on turn 3. I've got a God of Destiny. I have 3 lands finally, but the hand seems fairly slow. If my opponent mulligans, maybe I keep it. They do mulligan. Now, my opponent mulliganing doesn't necessarily mean I should keep this. It's a thought. I'm considering it. But Seasoned Pyromancer plus Chandra is just not winning this game if Ad Nauseam gets kind of that perfect hand. So let's go ahead and mulligan and look for a stronger hand. This looks pretty much like the last one. 3 lands. God of Destiny. This one doesn't have Seasoned Pyromancer. Swapped out a few things. We'll mulligan once more. Down to 1 lander. We'll mulligan again. Alright, apparently the game doesn't care about us. We'll mulligan once more. We'll keep this. Maybe I'll get lucky with a Blood Moon here, you know. Keep the no-lander. Who needs lands? Not this guy. This Blood Moon could wreck them. Oh, my opponent. I'm telling you, the Moto Shuffler's messing people up here. Just appropriately adjust our cards here. Opponent's found another land. Uh-oh. They found the land first. Oh, I found the wrong color land. I'm telling you. Sometimes the shuffler is just brutal. Making white mana, making blue. This looks like a pentad prism here. So maybe if we would have kept some of those other hands, we would have been fine. The one landers all the way. Let's see if they combo kill us here. Making white. Prepping the concede button. Phyrexian Unlife. Well, I found a land here. I'm going to go ahead and try for it. Arbor Elf, pass turn. Next turn, perhaps Karn. Phyrexian Unlife. Do we have the Ad Nauseam? You have 7 cards. Makes black. Prepping the concede button. I'm not going to make my poor opponent go through all of this. I guarantee to you they have it. Alright, Ad Nauseam. By the way, the second card there revealed was the Thassa's Oracle. So we are a bit aware of what they could be playing. The Thassa's Oracle combo here. I'm going to just send it back here. Just going to send it back. We need to have a hand that plays lands. I think that's pretty obvious. We also could have probably gotten away with some of our 3s and 4 drops, playing those on turn, but that's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to be faster. Based on how the last one went, though, I'll keep this one, and I am on the play, so we'll see if that benefits us. My opponent mulligans to 6, mulligans to 5. I'm telling you, the Moto Shuffler has been horrendous for the last week. Lead with a Windswept Heath. We're probably getting green mana here, so I can do Blood Moon into Acid Moss. Alright, we've suspended a Lotus Bloom. We have a Temple of Enlightenment on the top here. They bottom a card. Gonna go ahead and fetch. We have a Karn, so we're actually pretty good. We go Blood Moon into Karn here and stop the Lotus Bloom. Might be enough. We'll see. Gemstone Mine. Makes 2 mana. This is probably Pentad Prism. Pentad Prism. There you go. We do find another Stomping Ground here. Blood Moon. Mountains they have. Lotus Bloom is coming off of Suspend next turn. We have Karn the Great Creator coming up. That would shut them off of this color mana too. And also Lotus Bloom. Stacking the Lotus Bloom in such a way, if they Pact of Negation, could allow them to pay for Pact of Negation. We'll see if that's what we're doing or if we've got it here. Unfortunate games here. I don't particularly like having a back and forth like it is. Phyrexian Unlife has been played. Alright, we're going to slap down a Karn, the Greatest Creator. They make black here. They do a Spoils, looking for Pact. This is a bit dangerous, though. They don't have white mana. They'll have to play Lotus Bloom and use white. I like this, though. They're going for it. They get their Pact of Negation here. They go over quite a few things. Spoils. They exile all of these cards. There goes a Thassa's. There goes another Thassa's. So if they don't have more than 2, they just lost those. They lost 3 Simian Spirit Guides. They lost 2 Angel Graces. And that, my friends, closes the game out. Karn, MVP against Ad Nauseam. No other card beats Ad Nauseam that good. I said no other card. Match 5 coming up next. 2-2 overall, playing the KarnzaThragFire in Modern. Having quite the interesting few lines there from a previous match that have opened our eyes to possibilities in the future. We've got our next match coming up here. Opponent is found. It's actually been a little while since we've had a winning record. It's time. Let's win one. 3-2. I see you. Let's go. And we're going to have to do it the hard way. We are on the draw. Opponent decides to play first. The opening hand, though, looks really nice here. We have a Luris. We are going to keep it. One of the nicer looking hands we have here. Seasoned Pyromancer or Blood Moon. Opponent leads with a snow-covered forest. It's getting better and better. This is where all of our luck goes. It goes to game 5. Match 5. Game 1. Arbor Elf here off the basic forest. We've got Hex Drinker. Now, Hex Drinker could be a problem. We'll see if that becomes a problem. Overgrown Tomb, Fatal pushing my Arbor Elf, and boosts up the Hex Drinker. Now, we don't get any crazy turn here. Luckily, I have a Lightning Bolt. We can kill this before it gets out of hand. We'll name Red here. We'll use Lightning Bolt here to kill the Hex Drinker. Pretty good for us because killing a Hex Drinker is going to be impossible once it got past the instant and sorcery portion. Now, my opponent has double black here. I am going to go ahead and try to play a Blood Moon here. I am going to get a little more green just for the future. We're hoping that they don't have a Assassin's Trophy or Abrupt Decay. It's possible they do, but I would like to shut them off black here if possible. They do float black mana here. This does feel like an Abrupt Decay, and it is. Well done. Assassin's Trophy would have been a little bit nicer, ramping us up, but we can't always ask for everything. Tarmogoyf from our opponent. 3 cards to go. Alright, we have an Acid Moss, or I have a Seasoned Pyromancer here. I think I'm just going to slam down the Acid Moss to get rid of the Peatland here. I know I'm giving them the green if I find another Blood Moon, but that's kind of okay, right? That's kind of okay. We're going to get a Seasoned Pyromancer. If they're able to take this through a Thoughtseize, I'm going to get some tokens. We're going to block, 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 block until we can find ourselves Thragtusk, Worldfire, and win. Is that asking for too much? It might be. It's not bad to take care of a land as well due to Luris. The bobble there, they would probably be putting Luris into hand, so I'm kind of happy to see how this is kind of assembling itself. We'll play this land here. We're going to get a Seasoned Pyromancer as well. I have done this incorrectly. Slightly incorrectly there. We should have a blocker. Went a little quick there. Shoxin. 6 damage here. Uh-oh. Kroxa. Well, alright. We don't take 3, actually. This is kind of nice. Our punt saves us, perhaps. In for some damage here. I will easily eat Kroxa here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. Chandra. Uptick for mana. Play a Seasoned Pyromancer for chump blocks. And pass the turn. Okay. Next target is that Mishra's Bauble. Another Tarmogoyf here. And a Seal of Fire. We are going to block. They go after me. They're going after me because next turn they can kill me. Top deck is a Wooded Foothills. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They can Seal of Fire, so I'm actually going to take a land here in case I get the Worldfire. We're going to thin the list a little bit more. Top deck Worldfire gives us some time. Not a lot, but some. Up we go. Ooh, Thragtusk. Thragtusk gives us a lot more time. Thragtusk in, the blocker that could. The blocker that could. We have a few more lands here. But we don't need to do that because we have plenty of pieces here. Oh my gosh. Are we just killing me right here? Seal Fire, Lightning Bolt. I don't think they have Fatal Push, luckily. They're going after Chandra here, which is interesting. I guess because both get through, I'm just going to let Chandra die. She's not staying around, that's for sure. Puts a new Tarmogoyf in. So I can eat the Planeswalker here. It's a lot of Tarmogoyfs, though. I need a creature or something. Let's go ahead and get rid of Chandra here. We're at 13. My opponent does 12 to me. I'll pass the turn. Probably need Worldfire now. Can we top deck it? We're going to 1. They don't even put Lurrus to hand. Worldfire off the top. Worldfire. Karn. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. I can gain a little bit of life here. It's not a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4. Karn. Down tick. We go get bridge. 1, 2, 3. They can't get under the bridge. We're playing some magic here. That was an out. Land. They should be playing Lurrus, but they're not. Hex Drinker. 2-1. Have they just forgotten? Have they just forgotten what's there? Lightning Bolt. I have a Walking Ballista. I can currently put that on 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. I can put it on 4. I think I go up here on nothing. Play Arbor Elf. We'll play new God of Destiny. With Arbor Elf here, a Walking Ballista I believe is lethal. They would need to kill Bridge right now. Did we sneak one away from our opponent? Pumps Hex Drinker. Do it again. Make him big. Go again. Go, go, go. Thragtusk not too bad either. We'll steal the Seal of Fire. Down ticking. Obviously going and getting a Walking Ballista. We'll make a 5/5. We're a point short, but they can't fetch here. Point short, but we can't fetch. Do we get there? Just a bobble. My opponent completely forgets about Lurrus here. I think if they had the Lurrus down a little bit earlier, they had the Seal of Fire, maybe loop that a few times. We get there, though, and steal one away. Game 1. Game 1. All right. This is definitely a Kitchen Finks matchup. Come here, Kitchen Finks. Stay over here. Lightning Bolt may be pretty good because my opponent's playing the Hex Drinker, and being able to shoot that a little bit earlier is not a bad idea. I do think I still want to stay a bit on the Worldfire plan here. Chandra Awakened Inferno seems a little bit weak. We'll take that out. I like my Blood Moon Pillage Acid Moss plan here. I do like God of Destiny. How do we want to do this? We can probably trim an Acid Moss. We can probably trim a Pillage. Gives me 2 more cards I need to strip out here. I know God of Destiny is difficult for them to deal with. And my opponent is playing a Croxo list. Do Do I just take another pillage out here? Maybe I go one less lightning bolt here, and then we'll take one more pillage out. Wrenn and 6 could be a problem if they do run that. I think a pair of pillages, a pair of acid mosses is probably enough. My opponent will probably focus strictly on getting all 3 colors. Alright, let's keep this. It's a little bit slow. But we like a little bit slow sometimes. Mid-range matchup. All you, opponent. Bobble. Verdant Catacombs. Fetching Verdant Catacombs. Basic. Blood Crypt. Inquisition. Arbor Elf gone. Alright. Gonna have to hit our land drops here. Or new items. New Arbor Elves, new Utopia Sprawls. If they had Assassin's Trophy, there is an argument for taking a Utopia Sprawl out. Just because your opponent could take and kill that. Okay. Opponent's turn here. They stopped on their draw step. Blood Crypt in play. They've Inquisitioned me and they've gotten an extra draw with the bobble. We have a Tarmogoyf here. Take our draw. Not cracking Windswept Teeth because I do want to hit a land drop if possible. There's a Blood Moon. I'm not going to give any indication that I've picked up anything useful. Stomping Ground sideways past the turn. We'll go get 2 basics here and slap down the Blood Moon. Doesn't shut off everything, but it would shut off black cards right now. Crox is a pain. Lurrus is going to be a pain. I would love to not see another Tarmogoyf. Attacks me for 4. I will be fetching. This game might get away from us. Extra Windswept here. Another Blood Moon. Not really what I need. Play Blood Moon. I'm about to get hit for 8. I really need like a Kitchen Finks here to stem the bleeding for a singleton turn. Hex Drinker. Opponent almost doesn't care about my Blood Moon at this point. Hits for 8. Puts me to 6. And we have now a Hex Drinker that can become a 4/4. Top of the library is a concession. Fortunately, they still do 8. I can't Chandra and kill something specific here. The bobble's making these too large. Alright. They steal one away from us. Maybe Worldfire's a little too greedy. That was relatively fast. Let's grab the Worldfires out here. Let's bring a pair of Pillages back in, since we're going to be on the play. We're going to just beat them down with having enough damage, not doing our Worldfire thing as a final game. We are trying to win. There you go. Only adjustment. Let's play first. Good hand. Come on. Come on, Shuffler. Give me a good hand. Luckily, I get to play first. 2 bolts, no ramp, Blood Moon in hand. Doesn't feel strong enough. Let's mulligan. Doesn't feel strong enough either. Is this where we're going again? My opponent's mulliganing as well. Here we go. Okay. We can get rid of Chandra. Probably Stomping Ground here. We're going to play our Arbor Elf. We're going to do this off of a Stomping Ground here. I don't have that many red sources. I can always get the basic forest next if my Arbor Elf lives. Next play is more than likely Seasoned Pyromancer, dig for more answers. We mulligan quite a bit. My opponent mulliganed, it looks like, once. Thought seizes. So they either get to Thought seize my Seasoned Pyromancer, or they Thought seize my Pillage. I think they Thought seize away the Seasoned Pyromancer because that's going to dig us into stuff. However, a Pillage here and a Blood Moon off the top would be pretty brutal to them. Take Seasoned Pyromancer. No real surprise there. Alright, we find ourselves with a Kitchen Finks here. Gonna go ahead and basic. We're gonna go ahead and use this to kill the cliffs and pass turn. Set my opponent back a land. Probably not a bad idea since I am struggling myself in this one. Stomping Ground shocks in. Hex Drinker, luckily it was not a way to get rid of our Arbor Elf. A bonus Pillage here. Do I go one more? I think we go for this. Again, they shocked in that. They didn't have a fetch land. They didn't try to get a basic here. We'll just keep them on the back foot, hopefully. They might bring this up one. I've got one card. Bolts, Elf. Pretty good for them. They've got this 2-1. Slaps us for a little bit of damage. Top of the library, be kind to us. Needing a land, Utopia Sprawl, Arbor Elf. It's kind, but it's not fully kind here. We'll see if our couple pillages, though, have set them back far enough that they just dump mana into the Hex Drinker. I like both of these cards here, and we can play pretty much both of them, regardless of the land. Seasoned Pyromancer are a little weaker. Opponent just passes it straight back to us. We're going to go ahead and slap down here, make red, pass turn. I like Kitchen Finks if they don't have a land. If they do have a land, I might Seasoned Pyromancer. They boost Hex Drinker. Kitchen Finks can do fairly well blocking this. Let's go ahead and play the Kitchen Finks down here. We're very close to getting a Seasoned Pyromancer anyway. And if they have a Thought Seize, then getting this is just... It's good for them, but it's not, like, great. Here, if they have a removal, I still can kill this, so this isn't attacking me, and this is gaining just a little bit of life, which is going to be probably pretty important here. Boosts it up. There we go. It's going to be a 4/4 soon. Play our land here. Play a Seasoned Pyromancer. Draw 2 new cards. There we go. Let's go ahead and get aggressive here. Attack for 3, pass turn. They'll need another land here or a removal spell, and they can get in for 2 if they'd like to. Acid Moss is probably going to go after the Blood Crypt here versus playing Karn. They boost Hex Drinker here. It's now a 4/4. Let's go ahead and Acid Moss here pretty safely. Stomping Grounds. We'll stay back on defense and pass turn. We're doing this because here, having destroyed 3 lands and my opponent's lacking another land, we probably have them kind of locked out a little bit. Follow this up with a Karn and we'll be in great shape. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're probably going to go get Wormcoil Engine. I think Wormcoil will finish this game. Karn, down tick, go get a Wormcoil Engine, pass the turn. We can block nicely here. I've got a bolt to throw to face. Opponent's got no lands. We have a way to kill land if they do find one. Probably not a bad idea to just go get a Walking Ballista next. Go block here. Block here. This way we kill the Hex Drinker. Gets rid of their creatures. We have a Wormcoil showing up next. I think I'm pretty happy about that. We'll get the Persisting Kitchen Finks as well in case they play a land and Thoughtseize away our Wormcoil Engine. We're going to bolt our opponent, attack for 2, play Wormcoil, and probably get Walking Ballista here. And we'll finish it out. 3-2 there with the KarnzaThragFire in Modern. We'll see you in the conclusion and our thoughts. 3-2 overall, KarnzaThragFire here in Modern. This is the list, slightly adjusted from our last one. We don't have Jaya Ballard anymore. Instead, we're sporting a Chandra and a little less on the Acid Moss and some Torches of Defiance. List plays really well. It's a Ponza version. It's got actually things that it can do that other Ponza lists cannot. Specifically, Worldfire Thragtusk combination actually winning again a game against Infinite Life. Is it too cute? Part of me says no. Part of me actually says no. This is a very interesting way to build the list, and I think the core of Ponza attached to this huge life gain, especially with red-black prowess being popular, with Scourge, and then also just red decks in general doing the damage that they are. It feels like it's got some pretty good legs here. It also has that nice land destruction Blood Moon theme to it, which I think is a really powerful thing. We try to do this in red-white lockout sometimes, and sometimes that list feels like it doesn't quite have enough punch. This one surely does. That being said, there were a few mulligan issues with the list, and that continues to be a problem at times, so just be mindful of that. You may run into some difficult hands, and also be careful if your opponent's Bolt or Fatal Push or Path your Arbor Elf, you could be in trouble. All that being said, KarnzaThragFire, a blast to play, and always brings us a smile when we can do the Worldfire. Thank you for watching. As always, consider liking and subscribing, and we'll see you in the next match.